Hey y'all, I'm back with another book review. So I finished The Gospel Treason by Bradley Bigney. This is such an interesting book to me. Well, first of all, because it's actually my mother's book, and my mother is a writer in her book, so I don't know if you can see that. And so I was just like, oh, I will just enjoy the book and not write in it, because she's a super writer in her books, especially when she's like learning or researching stuff. And so I totally appreciate about my mom, but it's also like when I have to go read a book, I'm just like, oh, I can't read it without my own thoughts. But I totally get it though, because in college and in high school, whenever I had to do something for research, totally wrote all over my books. I still, if I'm doing a research book for anything, I still write all over my books. So I totally get it. But it was such an interesting read, because it's something that I'm really trying. I think that there was one story that stood out the most to me was about a mom who made her kids their idol, basically. And she put all of her attention on her kids and all of her hopes and dreams and everything into her kids. And then they talk about how they watched her flip from being happy and fine to being bitter and angry in the pictures. And it was just 1 year from the next. And like, for me, I'm like trying to be very proactive, because my grandmother, on my dad's side, she was a very, very, very angry woman, and I don't ever want to be like that. So I like research it and like look for things that I am doing and seeing why she was the way she was, and trying to be the opposite of that. And so anyway, so she flipped, and she was a Christian woman, she went to church, all this stuff, but like she made her youngest son be the center of her heart and have all her dreams in him. And he was like, he felt all the pressure. He like dropped out of school, become an alcoholic, like all these stuff, because she made her son like the center of her world. And like, I thought it was such an interesting thing that you really need balance in your life. Like, you can't, well, first of all, you shouldn't make your children your idols or anything your idols. You really should just focus on God. But I think it's so interesting when you just have one focus and that's all you have focus on, and like you don't have other aspects of your life that you're reaching out to, or other energies that you're putting into other stuff. You become so angry and bitter and so resentful because it didn't turn out perfectly, because it didn't go this way, it didn't go this way, it didn't go this way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, have I ever done that? Oh, I've totally done that. Totally done that. I can think of many instances in my life where I got so angry because I didn't agree with policies and like blah 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 blah, and so I became bitter and angry about it, and like, so I'm working through that. But I totally loved the way that he presents the whole idolatry and like shows you direct images and direct stories and direct things that happen of how when you don't make God the focus and you make other things the focus, how much of an idol it becomes. And I just really think it's interesting, and like the whole aspect of trying to find your hidden idols. Kind of know some of my idols that I am working on, but and one of them is holding on to everything, because I do, as one of my biggest things, I hold on to things and hold on to grudges, and like so the constant thing I'm working on is forgiving and letting go. And like, they don't need, like, there was a book I was reading and they were like, apologies is not in the Bible, like that's just a man-made construct. And I was like, huh, you're just supposed to actively forgive people even if they blah blah blah. Anyway, totally lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Anyway, you're supposed to forgive people, and like, I think that's kind of like my idol and my bitterness that I am really like trying to break and trying to be like very good about. And so I definitely would recommend this, but if you don't want to be slapped upside the head and have your conscience tell you, and just like, if you don't want all of those things, maybe you shouldn't read it. But I highly recommend, because it starts opening your eyes at seeing where your focus is and how to change your focus, and change your focus to God, or change your focus to whoever your deity is, because I'm not going to judge other people, but mine is God. And so just changing your focus and focusing that energy on that, because if you don't focus your energy on God, like, you will become bitter, angry, upset, like, because we're human, we all disappoint, like, that's just life. And so I just really enjoyed his hard-hittingness, his ability to make me think consciously about stuff, and just really try to work on my own heart and work on my own aisles and intention, and just focusing on me. And like, he references the whole verse about the logging your own eye and trying to take the speck out of somebody else's, and he was specifically talking about that story about that lady who was just like picking the specks out of everybody's eyes, but her log was literally plowing and kicking everybody in the head. And I think that's sometimes what I do. My log will be like ginormous and I start plocking everybody in the head. And so I do. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I should just focus on me. So it's definitely a good focus on you book. Focus on what you can control, what your energy is putting into. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this review and you all have a great day.